Hello, 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 hello. I know it's gonna be weird not seeing this logo or seeing that logo and not have me talk about like a particular part of the league. It's basically this basically isn't an NFL 101. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call this yet. Uh, I'm, it's probably gonna be like an NFL free agent take type thing. Um, So I'll let you in on a little bit of the backstage prep from me and Nathan. We've done stuff like this before during the podcast. I know I've said it during videos, and he said it during videos and shorts and all that junk. But here, let me open the curtain a little bit. So when we typically talk about NFL on the podcast, uh, at least my thought process is we talk about three teams at least three teams: the Chiefs, the Packers, and whoever we find interesting. Now, obviously, we don't really do that too much because we talk about whoever's interesting, and of course, if it's we're talking about the Super Bowl, we're talking about the Super Bowl. There's no third team, and over the 2 years we've done this, the Chiefs have really been the only team of our two teams. The Chiefs have barely been the only team and in the Super Bowl, which is like not a knock on the Packers. It's just they haven't made it yet. Anyway, so this one's going to be a bit different from what I usually try and do. Um, I'm going to really talk about two teams. Obviously, the Chiefs, what some of what they've done. I'm going to talk about the Bengals a little later on, and then I'm going to talk about a player. And I might save that player till the end to keep this. And I'm not going to tell you who that player is until I start talking about him. So let's start with the Chiefs. Overall, I've liked what the Chiefs have been doing. They have made the right signings in free agency. They have let the right people walk in free agency. Justin Reed walked, one of our safeties. I think that's the right call for them to not re-sign him. The only thing that was really surprising uh, for me over this free agency period and a little bit before it was the trading of Joe Thuney, or however you say his last name. That's the only thing that really kind of caught me off guard. But as I thought about it and processed it, it made sense. So I'm not. Uh, Credit to Joe Thuney, great player, helped us win two championships. The Cats are playing in the background. I was just kind of watching them, make sure that I didn't need to, stop anything. Um, but anyway, so I appreciate the players we lost. Great players. Some of them helped us win a championship or two while they were here. Some of them helped us get be able to go for the three-peat, which people say, "Oh, you didn't get it, so who cares?" No, the fact that we even got into that position in the first place is kind of amazing. So, credit to all those players who helped us, who put in the work and put in the time. And really, that's all I have to say about the Chiefs. Is overall, I liked their signings. We have some new players coming in that I think will do really well. And I'm anxious to see, of course, what we do in the draft. Um, the other team I kind of want to talk about is the Cincinnati Bengals. Listen, you have you're in the top five of the quarterback of paying your quarterback salaries, which is not good. You're I think you're the top team in terms of paying your receivers, which is also not good. So, uh, I know I explained the NFL 101. I think I explained the cap, um, which means basically the league has given every team a certain amount of money they can spend on players. To have a large chunk of your cap tied up in three players is not a smart thing to do. Um, Now, that being said, there are other teams that have a quarterback who's good enough that you can play three players and be able to work through it. But I don't think the Bengals are one of those teams. I love Joe Burrow's confidence. I love his willingness to to like keep all of his teammates, all the super talented guys, all the guys that helped them get to the point. Um, so anyway, I just love that. I love that confidence. I love him being willing to keep those players, but he has to realize that it's just not feasible to have taken all the money and to have your two receivers take as much money as they can. That means certain other players don't get a piece of the pie. That means your best defensive player will not get paid like he wants to get paid and end up going somewhere else. That means, like Myles Garrett did before he got paid, that means certain other players will not get paid like they want to get paid, or they realize they will not get what they want to get, which might be a championship, which might be the chance to play for a championship, which your team will not give them. They will request a trade. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. There are going to be players on the Bengals that say, "You're not giving me the money I need because you played these other three players, these three players." Which, okay, Joe Burrow, good enough to get paid. Ja'Marr Chase, good enough to get paid. T. Higgins, I wouldn't have given him that. I wouldn't have tagged him. But here's the thing. This is what's frustrating me about the Bengals is they're a poorly run organization. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that to dig at them. I'm not saying that to offend them in any way. They are a poorly run organization, and they have been for a while now. They they are not willing to move on from certain players that they know they can't pay or they know they shouldn't pay. They are not willing to do tag and trades. Now they could trade T. Higgins, but they haven't yet. So I I think the Bengals have put themselves in a really bad situation if they don't trade Higgins. Whether it's to trade him before the draft to get draft capital, or trade him after the draft to get him off your books. But you have given T a massive franchise tag, which means you're either gonna have to sign him to an extension, which could ultimately pay him more, or you are going to lose him after this season. So that's just a bad mix of stuff that the Bengals are doing, and that's another NFL 101 of explaining what a bad organization looks like. I don't know if that I've already put that out, but I'll probably record another one and put another one out. Anyway, so I think when it all comes to it, the Bengals are probably going to lose either T. Higgins or Ja'Marr Chase, and eventually Joe Burrow is going to request a trade to go and try and get a ring. So that's where I see the Bengals heading, is because they've made these bad decisions. They're going to have players requesting trades, requesting to be released, uh, walking away, not even negotiating a contract because they know they're not going to get the pay they want. Um, so that's what's going to happen is with the Bengals is they're gonna have a bad time paying the people they've chosen to pay for. Now let's get on to the player I mentioned. The player I want to talk about is Aaron Rodgers. As of the recording of this video, Aaron Rodgers has not signed with the team. He has not accepted an offer from a team. If he does not soon, he will not. I don't think he will sign with the team. Me and Nathan have been talking about this. I think our consensus is about 2 to 3 years his maximum of what he's gonna be playing. Um, I'm leaning more towards 1 to 2, and Nathan's leaning more towards 3. So here's the thing. I think, as I just said, I think Aaron only has one more year before he stop he. I think he has one more year of where he's really good, and this has no bearing on how long he'll play. But I think he has one more year of, let's just say, prime adjacent Aaron Rodgers. You just saw Obi-Wan pass through the camera. Yeah, of prime adjacent Aaron Rodgers, which means Aaron Rodgers. It's not going to be prime Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to be like throwing Hail Marys and doing all this stuff. He's still going to be really accurate. He's still going to have a lot of talent, but I think he's only has 1 year left of. I'm gonna. I am still. I can still lead a team to the NFL. So or to the Super Bowl, I should say. If I can lead a team through through the through the NFL gauntlet, I should say, and to the Super Bowl, and then he's gonna have another year where he's a middle of the road quarterback. Hey, stop that! I'm sorry. One of the cats was playing with their water bowl, but he has one more year where he can lead a team to a Super Bowl. Realistically, he has another year where he's a middle of the road quarterback. Might still lead a team to the Super Bowl, but he's gonna have to have a lot of help. And then if he plays 3 years, which is the maximum I think he might play. That third year 3, will probably see a steep decline in his play. And again, I just said this on the most recent NFL 101 that we put out, episode 16. If he play that third year, he's probably going to be a bottom of the league kind of guy. He's going to have everything just right. Every player top 10, every break he can't get, he has to get. So that's what I see happening for Aaron Rodgers. And honestly, I think I said this earlier. If he does not get a deal soon with any team, I don't think he'll get a deal done with any team, if that makes sense. Which basically what I mean by that is, if Aaron Rodgers does not sign a deal with the teams that are looking at him, he will not get a deal next year. Whether it's a 3-year deal, a 2-year deal, a 5-year deal, he will not get a deal next year. That might be the end of his career, which would be a poor end to such a legendary quarterback. Anyway, I think I'm gonna add that anymore. I mentioned NFL 101. If you want to go watch those, I think I'm gonna include the playlist. And if you like this video, hit a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. See you guys later. Thank you. See you guys later.